Hey guys, it's Adrienne, and I am here with your June monthly psychic forecast. Today I am going to be using my Black Moon astrology cards. So that's these. Hopefully it's not backwards for you. And what I like to do when I use this deck is to just kind of get a general feel for the reading. So this is something that I use in conjunction with other cards. You all know that May has been a crazy month. So now not only do we have a pandemic, but we also have race riots and protesting going on. So I feel like, obviously it's necessary, but it's a lot. So we're all kind of feeling the stress and dealing with that. So I just wanted to kind of check in with you guys and see what's coming up, do a little bit more with the decks than I typically do. Okay, so for the Black Moon Oracle, I have drawn the Moon card, which is about the soul. So things are changing. We've known for a while that they're changing. So with the pandemic coming, and everybody having to really pull into themselves. We talked last month about really having to dig deep within ourselves and figure out where we're sitting and really kind of doing our own inner work and looking at things that we may have been using work or socialization to avoid. So right now we're looking at a lot of inner work, a lot of getting real with ourselves. The moon is the reflection of ourself in our emotional state and in our ethereal state. So while the sun is a very physical, action-based card in this deck, well, in astrology in general, the moon tends to be more of our inner self and inner work. So like when we have a lunar eclipse, we're looking at changing inner issues, inner beliefs, our personal self within ourselves. So that's actually really, obviously with everything going on, that's really hitting home for me. But we also have a full moon coming up with a lunar eclipse. So it's a really great time to examine those things that you don't want to be holding on to anymore, and to let those go. So it's a great time to do a burning bowl ritual. If you're familiar with that, it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be, a big thing. All you need is a fireproof container. So I use a cauldron. I know not everyone has a cauldron, so you can also just use something that would work in your oven, a large candle holder, just something that's heat proof. And then you can write down what you would like to release. So write down your belief as you believe it, and burn that with the intention of sending the smoke into the universe to be repurposed into something more positive for yourself. And after I do that, I usually like to write down a new belief and put that in its place. And usually I'll put that on my altar or, stick it on the mirror or someplace that I can see it often, so that I can continue to kind of work on that. So with that said, we'll go ahead and do some regular tarot cards. I don't know if you are just tuning in for the first time. I use the Spiral Tarot deck. I do not have the box any longer because it fell apart. And this is the deck I've been using since I was 14. The same actual deck. And I love it. It's, kind of a part of me. Now I don't know what I'm going to do when these cards fall apart. So we're looking at June and what's coming up for June for the collective. And now if you are interested in getting a more personal reading, I'm available for those also. But, these big readings that we do, this is, how it will affect the collective, and, it may resonate with you more or less depending on, where you are in your life and in your, thoughts and beliefs and all of that. But I find them to be very helpful, not only for myself, when I do the readings, not only for myself, but not only when I do the readings, but when I can look at other people's kind of collective readings and see where we're hitting the same thing, you know. So I would encourage you to check out other people's monthly readings as well and see, you know, what resonates with you and where you can see kind of correlations. It's really interesting. So, okay. We've got lots of decisions to make this month. And lots of creating our own reality. So the first card that came up here is the Lovers card. So the Lovers it can be interpreted specifically as the Lovers, so romantic relationships. In this instance, I'm reading it in another way, which is that we're at a crossroads. So right now, I mean, and we are, you know, people are actually getting out there and putting their beliefs out there more than ever before. As a collective, we are kind of on a precipice right now, and things are getting ready to really start moving. So the Hierophant is in the reversed position, and that's just telling me, you know, we've kind of learned what we need to learn. So the Hierophant is about education. We've learned what we need to learn here. Now it's time for action, which is the Chariot that's coming up next. So we have the Chariot, and this is about not only reaching a milestone as far as growth, but also about creating your forward movement. So sometimes we just kind of effortlessly move forward, and you know, we find ourselves falling into the places and positions that we want to be in. The Chariot is very much about push. So you've got to move yourself forward. You've got to move the collective forward. You've got to help other people if they're feeling fear about moving forward. And I always encourage people to do this in kindness. And the only way that we can really effectively communicate with other people is to understand first where they're coming from, so that we can speak to them in a way that they feel heard and validated and understood. So anytime, and I understand anger. I mean, I get angry. I'm an Aries. I get angry and I fly off the handle. But when you can, you know, come back to yourself and try to find that peace and centeredness, and remember what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So we also have the Magician. So the Magician is it's a very physical card. So we're changing our physical reality by manifestation. Manifestation, for those of you who don't, you know, you're not familiar with that, is basically creating your reality by setting your intention. And part of that is thinking in the right way, and part of that is acting in the right way. So we can't bring about change by thought alone. I know that that is a big thing in the metaphysical community, that, you know, setting your intention and just thinking the right way will create the change that you're looking for. And unfortunately, because we live in a physical reality, I have not found that to be the case. You know, absolutely setting your intention, changing the energy around yourself and in your home and in your space and where you know, move around to is extremely important, and it does change things. But you also have to act to bring about the change that you want to bring about. So the Magician is all about manifesting those changes that you want to see. The King of Swords, this is a great card. It's very powerful, very challenging. So be prepared to be met with challenges this month. People may not always see things the way that you want them to see them, or the way that you see them. And this is not just to do with all the huge things going on in the world right now, but it can be as simple as, you know, going to work. You know, you and your boss may have a conflict. Coworkers may have a conflict. You may run into conflicts with friends or lovers. So understand that this is just going to be a challenging month for everyone. And then the Two of Wands is our final card here. And I love this card. So this card is about dreaming the dream, you know, looking outward and finding others of like mind. You know, we're still, as much as we've kind of shifted from focus on pandemic to focus on protests, it's all one thing. Like, this is just a huge year of change for everyone. And we don't want to forget that in our isolation or in coming together in these huge crowds, It's, you know, the two opposites, and we have to find that middle ground. So finding the people who support you, making sure that you're getting the support this month that you need, maybe taking a step back when you need to, reaching out to others and finding your support group in your community. It's going to be just a really important thing to do this month. So while we're still working on ourselves and inner work, we're also starting to see that manifest in our physical world. So just some things to think about. I will be doing an extended reading on my Patreon page. That's patreon.com, the local witch KC. You can find me there, so I'll be doing an extended reading there if you'd like to see that. Plus you get all other exclusive content and fun stuff from me, and you get discounts and all kinds of stuff like that. You can also check us out on our website. Stephanie and I, well, the Stephanies and I, Stephanie Milburn is taking a little bit of a hiatus right now. Stephanie Nelson and I will be doing some specials this next month, so be sure to check out thelocalwitch.com and just find out what's new, what's going on. And as always, you know, check out our channel. If you enjoyed this, please like it and subscribe. I hope you're having a wonderful, blessed day. I hope you have a beautiful June, and I will talk to you soon. Blessings.